The sequence when the White Walkers and the Whites attack the cave of the Three-Eyed Raven was an incredibly complicated sequence to figure out.
I knew that it was going to be a lot of stunts, a lot of CGI. How were we going to do it?
It's all the different departments coming together to create this nightmare scenario. So you've got the stunt team with the various fights. You've got the special effects team with the fires. You've got the visual effects with the Whites crawling on the ceiling.
It's a lot of different elements in play.
My goal was to make it realistic, make it terrifying, and make Hodor's sacrifice incredibly moving.
The Three-Eyed Raven Cave we first established at the end of season 4. It was very difficult to shoot in, but we only had a 2-day shoot.
It had been designed for, the actors to escape to, and then we cut away, so it wasn't very stunt-friendly at all. So we kind of had to sort of pull it all apart, create new tunnels.
And for this year, we had to have a secret exit for the cave just to follow the ending of that episode and the storyline that goes with that.
The children of the forest are basically in a very thin prosthetic, so we had to try and make the floor a bit friendlier for that, because obviously we're gonna kill them and throw them on the floor and things like that. But it's very small. It was very clubby filming in there. It was a bit of a mission.
If there's going to be an actor going by an explosion at night, we better see the effect of that light on him. The children of the forest have these round grenades that have been established in the show. They had designed these flat panels of light that the actors and extras would walk by, and explosion 1, and the light would light up from the ground. So the interactive light would hit. Then we did a pass with just the explosions. Then we did a pass with just them and stunt guys reacting. We shot many cold nights out of Magamorn to do all that stuff.
When we do explosions inside a small contained set, you've always got to worry about air expansion. We're working with this system that's actually igniting dust. What we ended up using was cork dust and charcoal dust, fired out of an air mortar in front of a flame, ignites into a lovely fireball. And it was off a Leaf's grenade explosion in the tunnel. It's such a confined little space. You do your explosion passes, there's no one there. Action! And then you do your passes where you've got people there, but they need to have interaction. Go! You put that shot and then the previous shot of explosion, and you've got everything you need.
At any one time during the cave, we had so many characters which were going to be in prosthetics. We had the Night King, 3 White Walkers, 6 Children of the Forest, including the hero Leaf, and countless Whites.
Anytime we create a creature is very difficult.
The Children of the Forest are fully covered from head to toe. They're glued completely into these prosthetics all over their body.
It took so long to get the Children of the Forest in their brilliant makeup and costumes. It was really challenging.
If I were to do a full-body prosthetic, I'll get picked up at midnight, and then I'll be on set by 10 a.m., so it takes about 9-10 hours. I didn't realize it's going to result to 9.5 hours of makeup.
It is an extraordinary thing that we ask of them, but then you see them all made up, and it's like, okay, that was worth it. They're, they're incredible.
Ready? Here we go. Action!
The cave sequence this year is kind of like a chase sequence. We've got Hodor and Mira and Bran on the run through the escape tunnel. They're being chased by skeletal and half-dead Whites. And not only on the ground, they're also being chased on the ceiling.
There's an image that Dan and David and Jack are very, very keen on, but just to get it as crazy and as terrifying as we could, the Whites are not only running on the floor, but they're crawling on the walls, they're crawling on the ceiling. So we worked with the art department to build an inverted walls and ceiling section of the tunnel.
It took a lot of interdepartmental planning to get that right.
We had to leave room with green screen when we were shooting frame-wise, to have them crawling on the ceiling.
Our great stunt team put their heads together on how to suspend the white stunt performers. So it's a bungee rig. They can cross over each other. They can pile onto each other.
They're going to be everywhere. That's something that's going to end up, I hope, being really creepy.
Hold the door!
There's a door between these whites and between Mira and BRAN getting away. That's when I'm told to hold the door, which turns into Hodor, and it was just like a genius.
George told us about this, that hold the door was the origin of the name Hodor.
And I just remember Dan and I looking at each other when he said that, and just being like, holy shit.
The intensity of the moment for Hodor, his own death moment, finding its way back through time, is short-circuiting young Willis and turning him into Hodor.
It's one of those things that, you know, didn't ever occur to me before he told us that, and then it all makes sense.
We just thought that was a really, really cool, kind of heartbreaking idea.
The big climactic cave sequence was hugely complex, and although it's very scary that this really terrifying thing is happening to our characters, at the end of the day, I think the emotion or what we're experiencing is hopefully going to be the shock that people will stay with.
Oh, it's mortifying. It's so sad.
I had the call. I knew what was going to happen to Hodor, but when I got the script, it was a really difficult scene to read.
Hodor was just, as we know, a totally normal kid who was then sort of screwed over by Bran. It's going to break people's hearts.
When I first read the script and I read the section about Hodor and how he got his name and what happens, that was a really cool and totally unexpected thing for me. I didn't think that we'd ever even find out.
It's definitely a sad moment, but I like what he's done, that he sacrificed himself for his friends. It feels very true to Hodor for me, but it's really sad.
That's a series wrap shot for Mr. Hodor.